All right, welcome back. Well, let's straight away get to that discussion on lab-grown diamonds, which have been giving quite a competition to, of course, natural diamonds. We first have Manisha joining in to set the context for us, because the fight is real. The brands are really sort of, stepping up the heat. So, Manisha, what do the numbers tell us in terms of whether it's price action or demand?
Well, it's both, and I'll take you both through both. But let me tell you, set the context first, because even now, when you step out, people are still asking on what are lab-growns and whether they are real diamonds or not. So just let me put this out for you. When you look at the natural diamonds, well, they are formed 150 to 200 kilometers below the Earth's crust, and it's 1 to 3 billions ago is how much time it takes to form a diamond. When it comes to the lab-grown diamonds, well, as it suggests, it is formed in a lab, but they chemically, physically, and optically match the natural diamonds in a lot of ways. And then there are simulated or fake diamonds, which clearly falls in category of cubic zirconia or moissanite for that factor. So that is telling you that there are 3 types of diamonds in the markets there. When it comes to lab-grown diamonds, well, there is certification as it happens in natural diamonds, and it happens on all the major C's, which is cut, color, clarity, and caratage as well. And when lab-grown diamonds also are of 2 types, and that's important to understand that as well. One is CVD, which we seem to be making the most in India. Actually, when you look at the lab-grown diamonds overall, the world, 25% of that contribution also comes in from India. So just taking you through the sides then, CVD is chemical vapor deposition, that is the full form, and the method was created in 1980. So this is clearly not a very recent phenomena. Apart from CVD, the other method of creating lab-grown diamonds is HPHT, which is high pressure, high temperature. This technique also was created in 1950. So even before CVDs came in, but it only has started to pick up now in the markets there. I also quickly want to take you on how these diamonds are created. Well, for CVDs, the diamond seed is placed in a vacuum chamber. It's filled with carbon-rich gases and then heated up to 1500 degrees. And then when it comes to HPHT, well, in this case as well, the diamond seed is placed in a carbon exposed area, and 2000 degrees of Fahrenheit temperature is put in, and 1.5 psi pressure also is put in there. So these are 2 ways of making lab-grown diamonds. CVD is done in India, HPHT in other parts of the world. China clearly leading when it comes to HPHT there. Now let me take you through the numbers then. And this is what the international lab-grown markets look like. 2023, the market size was 22.8 billion. 2024, it has increased to 25.89 billion. And when you look at 2010 or 11, it was about 5 to 11 billion. So we have seen market almost double in the last 10 years. Indian lab-grown market is a small part of that at around 2.7 billion. But the important discussion that you are going to do today is the lab-grown jewelry market. And that in the Indian concept also seems to be increasing. So last year was $264 million. 2024 was $299 or almost $300 million there. So we have seen the market continue to grow onto that one as well. And now even more important is that the Indian government has been pushing for lab-grown. They also abolished 5% tax on diamond seeds. They also have initiated research and development. And also export promotion and marketing accessibility is something that the Indian government has pushed for. The reason that you have seen lab-grown diamonds see so much adaptability, one is because you have seen affordability. Of course, they are cheaper in prices. They can be bigger in sizes. They are certified. There's quality creation. And many people tell us that people walk up to them and want custom-made diamonds. And that is something that the lab-growns can do for you. And finally, it's beyond jewelry as well. Jewelry is just one part of it. The lab-growns are used in electronics, cutting tools, and thermal conductors as well. And the last plate should now come in on your screens. And that tells you on why the lab-grown is so, accepted and bought as well. So if you were buying, and these are very approximate numbers, I mean, your guests will tell you on what the exact prices are. But 1 carat of natural solitaire price is 7 lakh, and lab-grown at the same 1 carat solitaire comes in for 65,000 rupees. So there are more people going in for this. Naked eye cannot say whether it is lab-grown or naturals. And of course, sustainability is another part of it. But this is the major reason that you have seen such huge adoption for lab-growns.
By the way, Manisha, the way you explained the manufacturing process, I was thinking whether I could set up a small unit.
There are, 7,000 to 8,000 reactors right now. So there are that many people right now producing it. So
7 to 8,000 producers?
Reactors. So these are the machines that produce diamonds.
So you need
a reactor. You need to get a diamond seed, you put it in, and depending on the size of your machine, it can grow larger in that sense. So whether you can grow a 1 carat or 3 carat or a 5 carat or 30 carats. So that is the investment.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Forget growing vegetables and plants, and
we're growing diamonds.
Yeah,
now.
growing diamonds. It's that that time. But Nigel.
Well, let's get our guest in. Then we have Mr. Suvankar Sen, the Managing Director and CEO at Senco Gold. and Anmol Bhansali, the Managing Director at Goldiam International, who joins in. Hi, Suvankar, as well as Anmol. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Suvankar, you go first. Tell us, what is your experience on ground? You know, the question is lab-grown eating into the natural diamond market? Could you tell us what is, your take on this front? And what is the pressure on lab-grown diamonds as well? I believe prices have come down dramatically. Give us a number.
So, what we are seeing is that the awareness level about the differentiation between diamonds and natural diamonds and lab-grown is gradually, the consumer is getting aware. While we have opened 4 stores of lab-grown diamond jewelry in the brand name of Senes, we are seeing that consumers are coming, inquiring. There is a lot of curiosity about what exactly it is, and it is our responsibility as a jeweler to build that awareness amongst the consumer base. So that is one level of understanding that we are seeing. The second is that the young consumers, they are also extremely excited about the lab-grown diamond jewelry because it makes it more affordable. And, we need to understand that diamond jewelry as a share of the pie of the whole jewelry industry is about 15 to 20%. But by lab-grown diamond becoming a part of the whole jewelry portfolio, the probability of people buying studded jewelry and studded products can go up to a large extent. So more and more people on a day-to-day wear basis can buy lab-grown diamond jewelry. But at the same time, we are realizing one thing, that when it comes to the special occasions, weddings, something which is to do with emotions, people are quite conscious that, yes, they would want to give natural diamonds, it comes to proposal or that memorable moment. But yes, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to kind of, the various changing scenario of trends and the various shapes of diamonds, I think people are trying out with the various shapes of diamonds with lab-grown. So that's the ground level scenario. This financial year, if you really look at it, in terms of the growth in the diamond industry, we have seen that the growth of natural diamonds have been a little limited. Marginal growth has happened, but when it comes to the lab-grown diamond industry, since the base is extremely low and it is building up, the growth rates are much higher. So that's the way it is. More and more stores are coming up. Consumers are trying out as a new product. And I think that the way we have gold, diamond, silver, platinum, lab-grown diamonds over a period of time will have a large chunk in terms of the wallet share of the consumers when it comes to buying jewelry. So that's what we are seeing at the ground. And as far as the pricing is concerned, that you said, that yes, in the last 1 year or so, we have seen a drastic, fall in the pricing. That is also led by the fact that there has been an overtly production and the supply has been very high. So the demand is yet to pick up to the extent that the supply has been. And we have seen about a 25-30% price fall in the lab-grown diamonds as well. But I guess that time is such that now it is almost the price of the labor of cutting and polishing the diamonds, and the prices are more or less stable. And I don't see much of price fall happening from what we are seeing right now. So this is how is the ground level feedback from my side.
But natural diamond prices as well have seen pressure, right? So
yes,
if you could give us a percentage, how much is that corrected by?
So the natural diamonds, when it comes to the pointers, upwards and solitaires, there we have seen that, it's not just because of the Indian demand, but globally in the US, in China, there has been a slowdown, and the prices have corrected back to the 2008, 2009 levels. But that is only in the bigger size diamonds. But when it comes to the smaller size, -11, there we have seen a very marginal dip in the prices of 5-7%. It's in the bigger size that we've seen a 20-30% dip in the pricing of the natural diamonds.
Okay. If I could just sort of come in over there and get to Anmol Bhansali as well, Managing Director at Goldiam International. And I mean, as a lady, if I could weigh in, I think what we're also undergoing, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I think what we're also undergoing is a shift in the mindset. The fact that consumers are not really looking at diamonds as a store of value anymore. I think that message has been driven home, that you can look at pure gold as a store of value, that too in a different format, maybe not necessarily gold jewelry because there are a lot of charges involved, but gold, yes, maybe not diamonds. And perhaps diamonds are now being looked at more as, your lifestyle, consumption, rewarding yourself. And therefore, that could be perhaps triggering a switch towards lab grown as well. But you come in on this, Anmol. What is the increase in adoption that you're seeing? And this reduction in prices, the volatility in prices of both natural and lab grown, is that making people hesitant, or is that not having an impact at all?
Thank you. Thank you, Surabhi, and thank you for having me. As a summary, Goldiam is a diamond-studded jewelry manufacturer and exporter. So, erstwhile, up until 2 months ago, when our B2C brand in India launched, we were 100% export, focusing on the US consumer market. Within that, we've seen a sea change in demand from natural diamonds to lab-grown diamonds. About 4 years ago, lab-grown diamond jewelry used to be less than 10% of Goldiam's revenue. Today, in our latest quarters, it's north of 70, and we see this trend increasing, especially in the US, as the average consumer now has complete awareness of lab-grown diamonds and has moved his and her buying pattern into this segment. Regarding the prices, as Mr. Sen said as well, they've certainly come off as supply came on in a huge manner in the last few years. However, given today's prices, where really most of the cost of the gemstone is now in the labor associated with cutting and polishing it, we are very confident that in commercial sizes, which is 1, 2, 3 carat diamond sizes, we don't see much price erosion coming in the future in lab-grown diamond prices. At today's prices, we find these rates to be a true base from where our focus should be on volume growth instead of just value growth.
All right. Gentlemen, good morning. Prashant here, Suvankar and Anmol. So from an investor's point of view, right, let me ask you guys this. Suvankar, for traditional gold and diamond companies, right, does it make sense to, if as and when they start manufacturing, this is not just about you, but I mean others in the industry as well, does it make sense to do lab-grown diamonds in-house or buy it from a player like Goldiam and brand it under your own brand and sell it?
So if you ask me currently, I think with the supply and the manufacturing that they are doing in a specialized way, it makes more sense for us to get it from players like Goldiam and then brand it, have our own designs that we are creating and then get it manufactured. So even when it comes to diamonds, for that matter, we are manufacturing the jewelry, but the sources of diamonds is coming from those who are cutting and polishing diamonds. Similarly, it is players like Goldiam who are creating and manufacturing of lab-grown diamonds. They are the ones who are going to supply the diamonds, and we are the ones who are going to manufacture the jewelry with our designs. So that's the way to look at it.
Okay, at least now, right? I mean, right now.
Yes.
Anmol, could you tell us what is the cost of setting up a lab-grown diamond unit? Capital cost?
Sure.
I mean, is the entry barrier high, or is it not really that tough? Go on.
Sure, Prashant. Thanks for the question. Just wanted to clarify, even at Goldiam, while we do have our own diamond growing plant, most, which is over 80 to 85% of what we sell in terms of finished jewelry to our export markets, as well as in our B2C brand Origem in India, over 80% of the diamonds are purchased by us from third-party growers in Surat, Jaipur, etc. So while we do, yes, have our own diamond growing plant within Goldiam, a predominant bulk of what we are selling is actually procured from third-party sources. Today, given where prices are, of course, a lot of machinery is now made in India as well. The approx cost to set up a CVD diamond growing plant would be around 1 to 1.2 crore per reactor, with ancillaries such as piping, gas work, etc. From that perspective, again, we're a largely pure play jewelry manufacturer. So for us, the focus again is similarly on designs, jewelry manufacturing and jewelry production, as well as strong sourcing to fuel in our jewelry requirements.
Right, and this 1.2 crores, right? I mean, so it's not that much in that sense.
That's correct. That's the reason for the supply bump as well in the last few years.
Yeah. So, I mean, so then for a player like, just again, from an investor point of view, and Goldiam, the stock is done phenomenally well. Is there a moat really, Anmol? Because, I mean, if there are tens of thousands of these units now, which come up for a market which is growing to supply it adequately, then what's the moat for Goldiam?
Absolutely. So for us, and we've been maintaining this for the past few years, distribution is our differentiation. to pure play grow diamonds today. In fact, where lab grown diamond prices are, just the standalone business of growing diamonds really has no true return on equity or return on capital that's sizably available to offer to investors. It's when you forward integrate into jewelry. So 100% of diamonds grown at Goldiam are sold within our retail brand and within our wholesale network. When you sell to retailers, and now when we have launched Origem, when we've forward integrated into direct retail in India as well. So that entire end-to-end supply chain of growing diamonds is in-house at Goldiam. And we certainly believe that the moat is always in distribution. That's been our focus.
So far it is kind of B2B for you, right? Largely,
Yes.
Anmol.
So
But you're starting retail as well. I mean, direct under your brand.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct, Prashant. So 97% of our revenues today are B2B to the US large retailers. We've just about 2 months ago started our brand in India called Origem. We've launched 2 stores and we're looking forward to further growth here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So sort of distribution and kind of, putting a brand on it, right? And not just the stones, lab grown and otherwise, which is where the money is. This calls for a longer chat, but we're in the middle of the result season, so there is a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of ground to cover. So Suvankar, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective. Anmol, great to have you with us here as well. And we'll have you guys back as we continue this conversation around the evolution as far as lab grown diamonds are concerned.